cracking, y'all. Let's get it. Let's get it. What's up with it, Eddie? Appreciate you tuning in. Y'all talk to me. Y'all see what the topic is, right? What's up with it, Jingle? What it do, Dirty? We live, man. You see what the topic say, right? Talk to me. Talk to me. What's up with it, Eddie? What it do, Dirty? Y'all see what the topic is, man. The topic for the day is femininity and masculinity. Is it done? Is it over? Is it finished? Finito. I need to know. Y'all talk to me, man. Get in the comment section, man. Tear it up. We live on YouTube and we live on TikTok. So yeah, that's the question. Is femininity and masculinity done? Is it finished? Is it over? Is it a lost art? That's the topic for the day, man. So get in the comment section. Y'all let me know, man. For real. That's the question. Drop some hearts in there as well. Follow if you haven't followed yet, because this is what we do. We come up with these topics, you know, and we just go live, man, and we talk about it. All I ask is that when you come in here, we respect the women in here, respect the men, respect each other, respect ourselves, man. But yeah, the topic for the day is femininity and masculinity a lost art? Is it done? Is it finished? Is it over? Is it over for mankind? That's the question. What's up with it, Erica Michelle? Appreciate you for tuning in. Appreciate you, Yvette, for tuning in. Christine. Dr. I think her name is Tamara or Tamira. You said it's not over? Okay. We got somebody that's already asking, you know. I mean, that's already answered. You say it's not over. And why do you think it's not over, Tamira? Thank you for tuning in, Bree. Thank you for tuning in, Lady Chef. Appreciate y'all. Y'all see what the topic is for the people that's just not tuning in. The question is femininity and masculinity over? Is it done? Is it a lost art, a lost cause? What's going on? Appreciate y'all for tuning in on YouTube and TikTok. I'm getting love on both sides, man. And I just want to know, is it a lost cause? Are we in trouble? Talk to me. Appreciate you, Bruce, for following. That's love. And anybody is more than welcome to come into the live chat with me and we can chop it up together. But I appreciate it, you know, always appreciate it. But that's my question, man. Is it a lost art? Is it over? Are we in trouble? Does anybody believe that femininity still exists or masculinity still exists? That's my question. Steve Tenton says, yes, we are in very deep trouble. Let me know why you think that, Steve. I want to know. Give me some insight on that. I think it's Charisma says, sup, G, my name is Malik. Please, can I get a shout out for my sons watching? Names are Jones and Ellis. Shouts out to Jones and Ellis, man. Bruce Sawyer says, it still exists, but it's definitely under attack, in my opinion. Why do you believe that? Give me more insight and input on that. Because there are those amongst us that will always embrace it and want it back amongst. What's up with Emmanuel? Good afternoon. I just got off work. Okay. I appreciate you for tuning in. Y'all see what the topic is. The topic is Is femininity and masculinity, is it done? Is it over? Is it a lost cause? Like, are we in trouble? That's my question. Thank you for Shauna for joining. I appreciate everybody for joining in. Catherine says, masculinity and feminists still exist. They just exist naturally instead of being forced. Can you give me more insight on that? I'm still trying to get an understanding on what you mean. And thank you all for joining in. Much love and peace. I appreciate that. We live on TikTok and YouTube. And y'all see the question, is femininity and masculinity, is it over? Is it done? Is it a lost cause? Like, are we in trouble? Like, talk to me. Thank you, Miss Flores, for joining in. Tamira says, we have an enemy. Satan has strategically tricked people into thinking it's gone. Okay, that's great insight. Catherine says, it's okay now for men to be more feminine and women to be more masculine. I want to say I agree with both of you ladies. It's pretty sad, you know, because we've come to a point where that's okay. That's the norm, you know. I want more people to come in here because I want to get deep into this. Like, this is a really great topic. Catherine says neither masculine or femme is bad or good. They are both good and bad at times. Tamira says it's sad. I totally agree. Manuel says most men aren't masculine anymore because of the way they be tripping. Most not at all. I agree with you, Manuel. Kiana says, hi, how are you? I'm doing all right. Came in late. What's the topic? Okay, so the topic for the people that's just not tuning in is femininity and masculinity, is it gone? Is it done? Is it finished? Are we in trouble? Is it a lost cause for us? Does it still exist? There's so many ways we can go with it, but that's pretty much the topic for today. How's it going, Coach Erica? Appreciate you for tuning in. Digital Maze, I appreciate you for tuning in. I appreciate all the love that y'all have given me so far. We got 14 people in the chat, man. Let's get some more people in here, man. The topic for today is femininity and masculinity, is it done? Is it over? Is it a lost cause, man? Are we in trouble? Miss Teach says, as a woman, I love feeling feminine or girly. As you should. Kiana says, I think we're in trouble. However, I do believe it still exists in some people. Okay, I can agree with that. Can you, Kiana, would you, do you want to give more feedback on why you think that we're in trouble? Give me a second, y'all. My little alarm is going off. Okay, Catherine says, I am feminine in that I am strong. I am masculine in that I am strong. They are not that different. Okay, teach his own. Steve Tennyson says, try to be masculine and people feelings get hurt because people don't want to know how it truly is. Can you elaborate more on that, Steve? I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, Keith Hughes says, it's interesting who has the power to control choice. People have chosen who they want to be. Tamira says, it exists in everyone because God made it, but it's been suppressed. Okay. Kiana says, sure, with all the gender diversity going on, about people can choose whatever they want or feel. That's definitely a part to play in it. I totally agree. Give me a second, guys. We're going to share it live. Y'all share it live, man. Get folks in here. Share it live. I want to get some more input. Come on, YouTube. TikTok kicking y'all butt. All right. For the people that's just not tuning in, though, the topic is femininity and masculinity, is it a lost cause? Is it a lost art? Are we in trouble? That's the question. Get in the comment section and talk to me. And anybody can come on here and get on the panel with me too. We can chop it up, live. Y'all can chop it up live with me. Kiana says, also, single women have had to be masculine, which naturally buries their natural femininity. Do you really believe that though, Kiana? Like, I want to, like, and when I ask this question, I'm really being honest. Like, do you honestly believe that single women have to be masculine? Because I'm trying to get an understanding on that. I hear that so much. And it's like, do they have to be masculine or do they just have to be adults on their own? That's a great question. Like, thank you guys for the universe. I appreciate you for doing that. I appreciate the hearts as well. YouTube, come on, pick it up, baby. Tamir says, I had to raise my children alone, but I love being a lady. That's for Tamir. Definitely want to salute you because you understand where I'm coming from. You understand what I'm talking about. Too many times we have changed the narrative and not held women or men accountable. When you say things like, because I took care of my children by myself, I had to become masculine. I don't think that's true. We all have choices. Because I'm a single father, I take care of my son alone. Does that make me feminine? Does that make me feminine if I help him with his homework, or if I cook his food, or I read him a bedtime story, or I pray with him? Does that make me feminine, or am I still a masculine man? Or does that just make me a father? You get what I'm saying? Tamir says yes. Jones says yes, absolutely. That's right. Choice. We have to have choice. Like, we all have a choice. But we don't have to, because things are not going the way we want them to go, we say, okay, well, since this is happening, I'm not going to be feminine, I'm going to be masculine. Or since this is happening, I'm not going to be masculine, I'm going to be feminine. Like, we got to, come on, man. We got to make it make sense. We got to stop giving the enemy too much power and hold on to our birthrights. Men up. Be men. Be masculine. Women, walk in your femininity. Bask in it. It's nothing like a beautiful woman who oozes and exudes in femininity. I love it. It's a turn on for me. But Tamir says God gives everyone free will and choice, even if they make the wrong choice. You hit the nail on the head, Tamir. Like, a lot of people don't get it. We just have to stop making excuses. And that's why I brought this topic up, so we all can talk about it, and I can get you guys' opinions, and we can, figure out a way to try to fix it, as a whole. But yeah, for the people that's just not tuning in, the topic is, thank you, Tamir, I appreciate that. The topic is femininity and masculinity. Hold on, give me a second, guys. Is femininity and masculinity, is it gone? Is it lost? Is it finished? Are we in trouble? That's basically what we're doing. Tamira, you're more than welcome to come on the panel if you want, because I want to get some guys on the panel, some ladies on the panel, and see if we can, we could all chop it up live, So anybody, Kiana, any of you guys, you're more than welcome to come to the panel. But yeah, for the people that's just not tuning in, the topic is femininity and masculinity, is it gone? Is it lost? Are we in trouble? Kiana says, I agree with you as well to a certain degree. If you want, you could always go deep into that dialogue, Let's just keep it healthy, because we all can agree to disagree, and I'm okay with that. Like just because it's my platform, I'm not gonna act like I know it all or I'm right, because I'm not always right. You know, sometimes I get it wrong, but that's why I do go live. For we all can have our difference of opinion, and we can just do it in a healthy manner. You know. John Wayne says, "What do you like to disagree the most with?" Um, I actually don't like to disagree with people. Like, I actually like to figure out a way to agree, you know, because I'm just not, I've never been a confrontational person, but I stand on what I talk about though, you know, right, wrong, or indifferent. Like, if I have my beliefs and a person don't have those beliefs, I'm not gonna like back down because they not with my beliefs. I'm just gonna agree to disagree, but in a healthy manner, if that makes sense. I hope that answers your question. But yeah. Any more questions? So which one is your most important? I don't understand your question, my guy. Tamira says, great answer. Kiana says, that's sweet. So you try to come to an understanding in a sense. Yeah, because I believe that's where the what's the word I'm looking for? That's the emotional intelligence. When you can talk to another adult, because we're all adults, we're not children. Children, they go back and forth and try to fight and try to be, you know, right or whatever. But as adults, I believe that we should always come to a healthy medium. You know, like just try to, you know, come to a solution. And I know us as men, that's what we're born to do. Like, we're always looking for solutions. So it's not that I want to be right all the time, or I'm backing down from anybody. I'm just like, let's have this topic, let's talk about it, let's hash it out, and may the best person win, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care for that stuff. Juan Jones says confusion. Tamira says, how do I come on but stay off camera? Already in bed. You don't have to have your camera on, Tamira, but I'll invite you though. But yeah, you don't have to have your camera on at all. That's always an option, you know. Kiana, would you like to come on? I'm gonna send you an invite too, just in case you want to come. I love to have different insights and input with people. Hey, Destiny, what's up with you? You want to come on too?
Hello.
How's it going, ladies? How y'all doing today?
Doing wonderful. How are you? Nice to be on your platform.
I appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
No problem, no problem. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever tuned in to my you know, my lives, but usually my whole goal is to try to, for one, you know, put an end to this gender war stuff. That's just one of the things that I want to do. And also I want, you know, us to, as adults, more than anything, my number one thing as adults is us to learn how to communicate better and effectively, and communicate in a healthy way and create healthy dialogue. Just by saying that we can agree to disagree, but we don't have to put each other down because we disagree. You get what I'm saying? So
Right.
that's my whole goal on just being on here. So yeah, man.
I
Yeah.
think it's excellent. And just like how it's been a saying of ours for so long, each one teach one.
Yeah.
My name is Dr. Tamara Lee Terry. I am the podcast host of Bridging the Relationship Gap. Why? Because it takes two. So this was right on point. This is my first time on here with you or seeing your podcast, and I am so blessed by it because I was just saying to my audience yesterday, who's talking to the men? Because there's so much that's being said to the women,
yeah.
from the women and from the men.
Yeah.
But who's talking amongst the men to try and help us bridge this relationship gap? So kudos to you.
Yeah, believe it or not, Tamir, like, I know because we have this big like presence on the internet, on phones, on computers everywhere, and it seems like we're just picking on women, men and women picking on women. We've been talking to men for years, and I just think it's oversaturated right now. Like people, like they're just like, man, they keep ganging up on us. They keep talking about us. What about the men? The men been getting talked about for years, and a lot of us, because we've been talked about for years. Like, I guess the it's so much of stuff being getting swept under the rug for women. Like it just seems like we're ganging up on them, but like my platform is to reassure that even in that process, we not just gonna just talk about women. We're gonna talk about men too. So I'm glad that you're getting that, because I want people to know that even though we're talking about women right now, because it might be cool per se, we not gonna forget about the men. We're not just gonna just turn the light off on them. Like, everybody needs to be held accountable, because if we're gonna bring back homes, if we're gonna bring back villages, guess what? We're gonna need men. You get
I
what I'm
agree.
saying? We're like the head front, and the first ones, the first responders per se, that need to get out there on those front lines and lead the charge. And that's it. That's what I want to do. Does anybody have anything they like? You can talk about anything, ladies. You know what the topic is, but do you want to like give your spiel on what you feel about the topic, or anything else, or what?
Well, I wanted to add that, it's my first time on your live as well, and I do appreciate being here.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I said that I agree with you to a certain extent is because I do feel like, as a woman, if you're a single parent or single, a single woman household, you do have to tap into a different energy, in order to get certain things done. And I'm not saying it makes you less of a woman, but I don't feel like you're in that same, feminine, girly energy at all times, because you are carrying, the whole load of everything, if that makes any sense.
It makes sense, but I'm gonna use an example because I get where you coming from, and I know that that's like the best answer you can give, and that's what we've been taught. But I'm gonna give an example of why I believe that women can still operate in femininity, and this right here is gonna just help any woman that's listening right now. You two ladies that's on the panel, this is gonna encourage you guys. Okay, this just we're gonna use this example. Okay, just say if you're a woman, you're a single woman, and you don't have any children at all, and you're living alone. Don't you believe that you're operating in your femininity, whether you have children or not? You say absolutely.
Absolutely.
Both agree. Both ladies agree.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Your car breaks down. You're still a woman. You don't have any kids. You don't have a husband. You don't have anybody. When you take that car to the dealership, wherever you got it from, or take it somewhere to get it fixed, do you still believe you're operating in your femininity?
Yes.
Is that just one? I want to hear the other.
I believe that I hear you. I do.
Okay.
I was just listening to what else you were going to say.
Okay. All right. Another example. You your tire breaks down. I mean, your tire busts or whatever, and you're on the side of the road, and you remember your dad. He taught you how to fix your tire. He taught you how to put a donut on. Do you feel like you're operating in masculinity, or do you still feel like you're a feminine woman? I feel like you're operating in masculine energy. I don't feel like I should be changing the tire. Okay. Is that Kiana? I feel like
Go ahead.
There are some things that you have to take on, some duties that are not naturally things that you would be doing, but it doesn't change the nature of who you are, right, because you have to do something else. It doesn't make you a man because you have to go
and change a tire, you have to do it because that's what needs to be done.
Exactly.
But like a lot of people got a lot of confusion going when Steve Harvey put out there and said, "Act like a woman, but think like a man." You can't never think like a man if you're a woman because you're not a man. It's not in your DNA to ever do anything as a man would do it. It's just like saying, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna if a man were to say, I know what that feels like to have a baby, he couldn't possibly know what that's like to have a baby.
Not at all.
Because it's not in his DNA to have a baby. It doesn't change the fact if he gets a stomach ache at times, he's never gonna know what a menstrual cramp feels like. You know what I'm saying? So there are just certain things that don't cross the lines no matter what people are pushing on people in society. If you were created with a certain DNA, that's who you are. And it doesn't change because you have a choice to say, I want to be something else.
That's it. And that's the only point that I want to get that up to you right there, Tamir. I just want to, like, because I'm doing my best to, like, give you women your power back. I can't do it alone. I want women to believe that they can have their power. They were born with it. You get what I'm saying? And the same for men. But we talking about women right now because I got both of y'all on the panel and I'm speaking to you, queens. You know, that whatever it is that you have to do that you deem masculine, it doesn't make you masculine. It just means that you're an adult and you're doing what you have to do. I'm gonna use me for example. I'm a man. We're gonna get off the women on what they have to do. I have a daughter, okay? And if my daughter, she doesn't live with me right now, I'm going through a divorce or whatever, I just have my son. But if my daughter was to be here right now, and my daughter needs a ponytail in her head, does that make me feminine or does that make me a father?
Makes you a father.
There you go. If my daughter is hungry, or if my daughter starts her cycle, and I gotta go get some pads for her, does that make me feminine or does that make me a father?
It makes you her father.
That's the point I'm trying to make. I think we put too much energy into, okay, yes, there are gender roles, and yes, there are certain things that men and women do when they come together as a collective. But when you're not with that person as a collective, things have to get done. But that doesn't, if you're a man, you don't become feminine because you had to do things that your wife or your girlfriend did, mostly. You're just a man who's operating. He's still masculine. He's just operating and doing more of the things his lady did when she was around. But that doesn't mean he's feminine. The same with the woman. If the door handle broke and you have to fix it, it doesn't make you masculine. Yes, your husband or your boyfriend would have done it if they were in your life, but they're not in your life. You have to operate as an adult, and that's the difference. That's what I'm trying to get all of us to realize, because we get too caught into, man, I feel feminine just for doing that, or I feel like I had to operate in my masculinity because my man, he left me with these kids, and it's like, no, ma'am, you're still a feminine woman. You just have to do things that he would have done when he was around, but he's not around. You're still a woman, and you still have that right. And you should never, ever let anybody strip you from your femininity. It's beautiful. And men like me, that's what we're attracted to. We're not attracted to other men. Now, don't get me wrong. We are in a new world where there are men who like men and women who like women. But I'm just telling you from a man who's heterosexual. I love feminine women. And it grinds my gears when I see or hear a female say, well, I had to operate my masculinity. Well, I don't want to date you now. You just threw all red flags on the plate. And now I'm finna look the other way. I'm being honest. You get what I'm saying? Because I love a feminine woman.
I don't go around saying, oh, I'm operating in masculinity or, I feel like I had to become a man to do this. But I do believe there are different energies. And I do feel like when you're doing certain things, you are switching gears. And another way of saying that is that you're switching a different energy level. And that's just how I believe it. I do believe that you make a great point.
Yeah.
And I don't believe that we should be stripped of our what we were born into naturally. I'm a firm believer too that sometimes we complicate things and then we wonder why we have issues and problems. But when most of us were growing up, life was a lot simpler with our parents and our grandparents. They didn't have all the formal education that's available for people to have now, and I'm all for education. They didn't have a lot of the finer things in life that people work for and strive for to get nowadays. But things worked for them. Yeah. They worked effortlessly for them. We saw more people protecting family. There were more marriages. There were children that came home and they had both parents in the house, and it didn't matter what was going on in that relationship, even if those two people were not getting along. Yeah. They believed in family. Yeah. They believed in taking care of the unit and making sure that those kids were going to be okay. And at some point, it seemed like it started to happen in the late 70s, that there started to be this massive breakdown. And I'll never forget, because as a young teenager, it was unheard of for a young girl to have a baby outside of wedlock. Yeah. And if she did, there was like a protection for parents that did have girls to say, this is not the proper order of the way it's supposed to be done. The way it's supposed to be done is the baby comes after you have the mother and the father who are both going to work together to take care of this child. Yeah. But in the 70s, you start seeing, like on my block alone, you start seeing like a flood of this starting to happen, with all these babies being born to single children, because they were not adults. They were still teenagers. They were being born to children. And I believe that was the beginning of all of what we're seeing now. If you have a teenage girl raising a son, you're going to see a lot of these things. He's going to mimic more of what he sees. And if he sees femininity because he has a mother and the father is absent, and there is no male figure in his life.
Hey, Allison.
This is why I believe that a lot of these issues are started to happen and has given birth to the problem that we see now.
Yeah. Hey, you said a mouthful, and I totally agree with what you're saying. You know, in a nutshell, you're saying we lost that village. You know, people walked away from their true birthrights. And that's basically the point I'm trying to make. Like, we have to get back to that. We have to. But it starts with us as men. Go ahead. Somebody wanted to say something?
I was going to say we have to get back to the basics.
Yes.
If we're going to survive as a people and as humankind. You know, if we continue down the road that we're going, there is going to be no peace between the two. And the family is going to diminish even more. Yeah. Even extinct eventually.
Yeah.
Hi, Allison.
Hey, what's up with it, Allison?
Hello.
I don't know if you know what the topic is, but the topic is femininity and masculinity. Is it over? Is it done? Is it finished? Are we in trouble? Is it a lost art?
Well, you know my outlook on that pretty much. I'm still growing and learning in femininity when it comes to, being in that era. So
right.
It's definitely a process for sure.
Definitely. So do you feel like there's any hope? Because I know me personally, if I have to be honest and frank, like there's so many men that are feminine in this world, and I can say the same for the females. There's so many women that are masculine, and it's like the roles have been reversed. We're in a state of confusion. Nobody want to call it out. It's like everybody's trying to get along to be alone. And I even think about, and this is not no knock to, the LBGT and all of that, but we just know, let's be honest, it's not natural. You know, once we started, voting for that, to be effect for them to be married and stuff like that, I think that like kind of put the nail in the coffin for us, in my personal opinion.
And can I also interject there that I live in the Atlanta area.
I do too.
It's very prevalent here in Atlanta,
yeah.
and it's very prevalent amongst people of color.
Yes.
So getting back again to our family structure, we don't realize what we are doing to our own family structure. If nobody wants to be who they were created to be and can't naturally have children the way that God intended for it to be, what do if we're not growing our families? If on one half they're telling us to abort our children, and then there's the other half that can't have children because naturally it does not work that way.
No.
What happens to our family union? We're diminishing, and we don't even realize that it is us doing it to us, and it's this country. We don't see this kind of stuff like this at this magnitude when you travel to Africa or when you travel to Europe, other countries. It's here. And it's in Atlanta. I'm from Chicago. You don't see this kind of stuff in Chicago.
I think it's because our country has accepted it. In other countries, it's not accepted.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the key right there.
No, it's not accepted.
That's it right there, Kiana.
So this is my next question to pile on what you were saying, Tamir. Do you guys, and anybody in here can answer this question, do you guys, because I do notice that it's mainly black, it's us. You get what I'm saying? Like when it comes to the homosexuality and all of that, do you think this is another way to have population control?
Genocide amongst the black community.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Yeah. Because I'm like, I look at it, I just think about, they brought the drugs in to kill us. They brought gangs in, and now, the gangs initially was, that was like our Black Panthers and, the Crips, they took care of the communities, but they twisted it and, like converted it into something, perverted it into something that was like not what it was at first, so could it be another form of
right out of my brain, like population control. I was thinking like they don't want us here anyway.
Exactly.
That's what it is. It's just, let me tell you something. When in Chicago, there was a big thing once upon a time about these abortion clinics. The abortion clinics were not in the Caucasian neighborhoods.
Right.
They were all in ours, Hispanics, people of color. They were there by the droves, and the whole thing with children not having to tell their parents that they're going to have a surgical procedure is outrageous. For whatever reasons they want to poison our minds to say, oh, well, whatever the reason is, I don't care. I had to take my sons in to get clearance for physicals for sports. And the lady would not, the doctor would not see my son because they didn't have my signature to consent. I had to leave work to go so he could get a consent for his physical to play basketball. And I said to her, this is just amazing to me. You told me that I have to come in here to sign a paper so my son, who is having a basketball physical, can be seen. But if my teenage daughter came in here and declared she was pregnant, y'all would conceal it from me and wouldn't even let me know if she chose to go have an abortion. Can we see what the real picture is? What's really going on here?
So, in a nutshell, basically, population control, which we know that's been happening from day one, and taking away our rights.
Exactly.
Parents
are losing their parental rights for their children. For all this stuff, like what you're touching on tonight. With the reverse, if someone does go in now and say, hey, I want to get a sex change, parents don't have to be consulted about this. A child can make a decision. A child can make a decision to do that.
Yeah, it's just, I'm telling you, like, it's I gotta like be frank. It's like a mind fuck. That's all it is. You get what I'm saying? Because on one side of the scale, you're saying we have our rights. And then on the other side, we're taking our rights. You get what I'm saying? Like, which one is it? Do we have our rights or do we not have our rights? You get what I'm saying? So, Pineapple, did you want to, I don't know how long you've been in here, but the topic is femininity and masculinity, is it a lost art? Is it a lost cause? Is it over? Are we in trouble?
I think it's misunderstood.
It's misunderstood? Okay. Can you,
Yeah,
you know,
because
give
I
us some
think a lot of people don't really understand what like feminine energy and masculine energy is. Because, you know, you got feminine appearances, masculine appearances, but that's not the same thing as feminine energy and masculine energy.
Okay.
Because feminine energy and masculine energy is in everybody. It's a balance. No woman is supposed to be completely feminine. No man is supposed to be completely masculine. There's a negative and a positive to both sides. And when you're more than the other, it creates an imbalance inside a person. So, like, if you say like when people say that a woman is supposed to be totally feminine, they want her, I'm sorry, I'm outside if it's windy, but they basically want her to navigate to the negative side of femininity where she's basically quiet, she's a pushover, she lets everyone get over on her, she doesn't stick up for herself, she doesn't announce when she has a problem, she pours into everyone else and doesn't pour into herself. Like, it's a very negative side of being purely feminine, and it's a negative side of being purely masculine. When you're purely masculine, you got men that are very negative, very angry, very argumentative, they're very physical, they're manipulative, they're liars. So first we have to understand what we're talking about, and then from there we can go with a better understanding on, because it's not gone. It's not going to leave. It's just people are using it the wrong way and they don't understand how it really works. Because in my opinion, the true yin and yang is feminine energy and masculine energy, and they both have to be balanced. You can't have one over the other. So like you were saying earlier, sometimes, like, I don't believe in gender roles, but if you want to use that as an example, sometimes you got to step into a role that may be considered masculine, but when you think about it, it's something that you need to know whether you're female or male. Because when it comes to certain things, there really is no restriction on whether a male or a female can do it. It's just more of an ability.
Right.
And I think it's a misconception too. Something that you said, if a woman is perceived to be feminine, then she's kind of like docile, don't speak up for herself, I think, and I think that's just misunderstood amongst people into thinking that that's what it boils down to be if she is.
Yeah, I'm glad you clarified that.
As a woman, you can be feminine and be very powerful.
Yes.
You can be outspoken when you need to be.
Yeah.
You're the helper when you need to be, but you also have that softer side of you too. Yeah. When you need help from somebody else, you're not, feel like you have to take on the whole world, and that you have to be the end all to everybody's solution. Right. The same way with the man. I think somebody who thinks that it's my way and no other way because I'm masculine, that's the wrong mindset to have.
Yeah.
I think that's where just even with the ones who are talking right here, this is how we change things, by educating people and bridging that relationship gap to bring the two together so that there's an understanding there to say that doesn't make you, if a woman is talking to a man, that doesn't make you any less masculine. If I, suggest something to you or an idea comes from a woman that you didn't initiate from you, it's one of the reasons why I believe the word of God tells us that God made the woman to be helpers.
Yes. Y'all hitting on it, because what I was gonna, add to what Pineapple was saying, and even Tamira, like the yin and the yang is feminine and the masculine. We balance each other out.
Yes.
We can try to balance our own selves out. That's cool. You know what I'm saying? But when a man and a woman comes together, they balance each other out for the most part. You get what I'm saying? You know, like it's
We work
like
together.
that's all I'm saying. It just goes back to what you said, like when God put Adam on earth, like he knew, like, we got all of this. You know what I'm saying? I done created all these animals, these insects and everything. I allowed you to name them and everything. But man was not made to be alone.
Yep.
You know, like he
You said
needed
it's
that.
not good for man to be alone.
There you go. You know,
There you go.
it's
And
just
you know
like,
something, I went to a conference a couple of weeks ago, an awards gala, and this was something that was said, and you don't hear this too much. You hear the saying that says, behind every good man is what? A woman.
Yeah.
But scripturally, that's not what God said.
No, that's what they say.
He took woman out, not out of man's back.
But out the
He took
rib,
one
which is
out
the
of man's
side.
rib, out of his side. So he wanted us to walk alongside
Side,
of each other,
exactly.
to balance each other out. You know, when you look at a scale, scale side by side. You know, one goes up and the other one goes down, and then they level out and balance out in the middle.
Balance each other out.
So he wanted us to walk alongside with each other, to be that balance, to help one another. You know, that's the way he intended it to be. So when I started off the conversation by saying it was just a strategic attack from the enemy to blind us into making us think that we should be pitted against one another instead of working together.
Together, that's it, man. That's it. And you know, as far as like the, you know, go ahead, Pineapple. You can go ahead.
Like when y'all was listen to you made me forget what I was talking
I'm sorry. That wasn't go. Hey, Cherie, I appreciate you for tuning in with her. I think she you done walked away.
Good evening.
Hey,
Hi, ladies. Hello, beautifuls. I'm soaking it all in, and it's making me realize there's levels to this topic.
Yes, ma'am.
So you see what it is, though, right?
There's levels to it because, you know, as most of us now grow into our seasoned years, we have the opportunity and the blessing of being able to look back and reflect on our journey, our experiences, and, you know, what made us become what we are now from the lessons. And everything all the women have said is absolutely correct. But in today's day and age, it's become such a competition, and I think between masculine and feminine, I think men are. You see me struggling trying to find a very respectful way of saying this, but say
it like it is, because I already
men are
said
feeling a little threat right now. I think due to circumstance. You know, women has always supported men beyond what I think has been exposed, and now that we're in the age of exposure, it's almost threatening. You know, we'll never be equal to a man. It's not how we made up. We can never beat a man, but in a lot of ways, visually, it's almost like we outdo. And in certain circumstances, we women are put in positions to have to play the male role, the protector, the provider, and the things that we're taught that the men are supposed to provide in our lives. And when you repeat something so much, it becomes habitual. It becomes who you are. It's without thinking,
right?
Because this is what I have to do. And doing that so long and welcoming somebody in your space, you know, just your space alone. You don't have to speak to share your space. You know, your space is going to be felt. Your presence is going to be felt.
Right. And
when you have a standing in the same space of someone who's usually on the receiving end of someone who provides, it can feel a little threat. And I think a lot of these men use the term as we're too strong, or the classic term we're too mean. You know, it's a lot to swallow. And hell yeah, we're mad because we're tired. You know, I think a lot of us women want to be submissive. I want to just be just a woman. Give me just 1 week to be nothing else but a woman. I don't want to be under my car changing my oil. I don't want to be taking my garbage out the car. I don't want to be pumping my gas, but I have to. So then when a real man approaches me and like, hey, pretty lady, can I pump your gas? My head quickly wants to say, yeah, but out of habit, no, thank you, I got it. Mm-hmm. Oh, you're just not used to a man doing nothing for you. You know what? You're damn right.
Right.
You should probably go tell all your other man friends. You're right. I'm not used to it. That is exactly the problem.
That's
and I think now it's starting to become and feel threatening. It's not about no women's liberation and women's rights and what you take.
Right.
It gets harder to give up something when you stood in those shoes so long doing that something.
Exactly.
When you become a provider, it's hard to just go back and be the caretaker. Mm-hmm. It's hard to trust and release the reins of letting that person be that provider because they watch you provide.
And
so
we need grace.
To piggyback on something that you said, where you're talking from the standpoint of that's how the majority of women are feeling because they've had to do it for so long. And on the behalf of men, men have been emasculated for so long where they feel like in many cases like they can't do it by themselves.
Absolutely.
Our fathers used to do it. How many do you hear them say, well, what's she gonna bring to the table? Because I feel like it should be half and half.
I'm so sick of that question. Oh my God, if I hear that. I told my girls, if I ever hear that question come, I don't even want it to be a home discussion at this point. Because there's so many components to that too.
Exactly.
We're not even in the economic times where a man can provide everything that our grandparents provided for our grandparents. It's not even feasible. Houses was $40,000. So we're trying, it's like we're comparing apples and oranges. The black family has never had a rule book of how to be a black family. We've never had an opportunity. We've never had an opportunity. The judges are the white people. We've been trying to keep up with them, trying to get what they get in order to supplement or pretend to have a black family. We've never been taught that.
And
back in the day,
go ahead.
When we were growing up, we had those role models who said, I'm going to do it. My dad didn't have formal education. My grandfather didn't have formal education, but they did it, and they were further along than a lot of people that have decorated degrees these days. Somehow, they figured it out in a way to do it, and they did it effectively. It's all about a mindset, but our mindset has changed into making people feel like you cannot do it. And the men are made to feel like you can't do it unless she helps you do it. And the woman is made to feel like you don't have nobody to help you do it, so you better do it all by yourself.
Right.
Correct.
And not only that, back in the day, if you think about it, they did things as a community.
Yeah.
They did.
Right. Yeah, like I got something to
That's
say.
absolutely true. The village was villaging.
Exactly.
The village was villaging.
Yeah.
We fed each other. We protected each other. We stood for things. You know what I mean? It was completely different. So the thought processes and the meanings behind things that we had growing up mean totally something different now. It has turned into this hodgepodge of what you got, what you can touch. It's tangible. And you can... Yes,
it's all about me. It's not about helping somebody else anymore. Like you said, the village was villaging. It's not about I got mine, but let me go see if I can help this family down here get theirs. It's all about let's just contain and just do what we're doing, and we just gonna
Right.
As long as
Until we need help.
We don't really care about theirs.
Until we need help, then you love everybody. Let's be a community. Right. Yeah, it's very it's
time to vote.
Right.
Let's come together as a community.
Right.
So
it's very unbalanced.
Well, as you can see, you have sparked a very good conversation tonight.
I'm trying to. Y'all see I'm playing double dutch. I'm trying to jump in. I'm trying to jump in, jump out. You hear me? I love it though.
I just wanted to add another perspective to it because it really is a thing, all the way from down our transgender families up until there's things that people experience that they're trying to explain when it comes to masculine and feminine that most of us can't grasp because we're not standing in those shoes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's a struggle to understand. It's a struggle with our beliefs that has got us this far. It's a struggle with a lot of things, but that doesn't mean it's not a real thing.
Yeah.
You know, our makeup is that way. You know, as you said, it has to be a balance, and when one is outweighing the other, you know, that's what you're getting. There's just so many levels to this, from mental to spiritual to physical, tangible. This is a very, very touchy topic, and it also makes it feels like it's boys against the girls.
Very emotional.
You know,
see,
you know, I think I heard
one at a time, ladies.
When I woke up this morning, the first thing that came up on my screen, this pastor was talking about the 80-20 rule. You know, and being with it. Yeah. And then I was like, what is he doing talking about this? But boy, he laid it out. Yeah. Anyway, not to switch to a whole new topic.
Hey, Deanna.
He was talking about the 80-20 rule and how we women can get so used to being in the 80 due to whatever circumstance. You know, our man lost his job for a minute, or, you know, or serial cheater, or whatever the circumstance. We're standing by our man.
Right.
And into the world's eyes, it just looks as basic loyalty. But to forgive someone who have hurt you to the core, who has allowed you to just provide, watch you provide, that is a different type of loyalty that goes beyond what people see.
Right.
It puts women in a position to where now, if I'm looking at the one that is supposed to protect me, you're not doing that, I have to do that. How can you expect me to ever submit? How can you ever expect me to ever be transparent? How can you ever expect me to be vulnerable?
Right.
You're not going to get that side of me.
Right.
And when a woman closes up,
that's it.
when I feel that's it. It's a wrap.
That's it. It's a wrap, baby. It's a wrap.
End of discussion.
Yeah.
End of discussion. And once it's closed, you can't expect me to say, okay, baby, I'm ready to submit. No.
But this is the thing, though, ladies.
You can't
check this out. This the thing that because I get it.
Okay,
what you're saying,
stop talking
everything.
I didn't want to be rude.
Hey, Deanna, we appreciate you for coming in on the panel. But
hello, everybody. Hello.
The thing is, like, we get it. Like, I get it. You know, women, they'll have their justifications for why they would operate in masculinity and all of that. But what I'm trying to get you to see is, I want you ladies to take back your femininity. You don't have to, like, we all have choices. We all have options. Just like if you're in a marriage and that man don't want to be masculine, or he doesn't want to take his role, you have a right to not be in that marriage anymore. The same with me. Like, I was in the marriage, you know, Siri, like, I was dealing with it. My wife, she wanted to be masculine. She wanted to run the show. She wanted to talk to me crazy and be disrespectful. So guess what? I made that distinct option to leave that marriage. I'm not going to have a woman who wants to be me. I'm not attracted to me. I'm attracted to a feminine woman. You get what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. Like, we have to stop making excuses for why we're operating the way we shouldn't be operating. And operate the way God.
I'm gonna say this to you though, too, Kev. I'm gonna say this to you too.
Go ahead.
Because this has been a good topic for me. You always pick the right one. You be right on time.
Hey, I told you I like to pick the ones that's gonna pick on people. Right.
But I'm gonna say
go ahead.
There is no general rule on how or who we should be.
Yeah.
And I think the whole point, when they say, well, back in my day, let me go back in my day. My grandma used to always tell me, honey, you got to date. You can't just meet the first one and that's the right one.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? We are searching for our mate. And it's nothing wrong when it don't work. Sometimes you don't know what you're in until you're in it. Right. You know, sometimes you got to run around payless in that pair of shoes. Okay, see how they slide to the security alarm door. You know what I'm saying? You got to make sure they wear good.
I've never heard this one before, but that was good.
Right.
Yes, it's the truth. It's the truth.
It's the truth. My grandma used to say the same thing.
It's the same thing.
She said, don't show your shoes to every guy you meet.
You're sure right. And even in my circumstance, I want to be angry in my circumstance. I'm about to take a whole big man to the garbage. But I can't be mad because that's who he is.
Yeah.
And who he is just not suitable for me.
There you go.
But there might be somebody see what I'm saying? There might be somebody who might not see her as being too masculine. She just has an overbearing, controlling type of demeanor. And that's just from me knowing her personal.
Yeah.
Okay. Respectfully, I couldn't be gay and she was my girlfriend. Yeah. I would have a problem with it because it's too much for me. However, that's the whole point of finding one that is a match for me. Yeah. And a lot of times we settle due to circumstance and try to create our mate.
Yeah.
You know, it feels good. It don't work. Going back to what that pastor was saying this morning. Mm-hmm. We give so much 80. We're giving so much of that 80 that we just go ahead and accept a little bit of 20 because it just felt good. And now we're stuck in it. Yeah. And then 2 years ago by, 4 years ago by, and I'm still giving that 80, and now I'm habitually used to the 20. Yeah, exactly.
That comes from desperation because like, I'm younger. I'm 32. I come from the Disney generation, so like I grew up where they hammered it in our head to wait until we were married. But it's one important thing that didn't nobody teach us. Didn't nobody teach us on how important it is on who you choose to marry. And with that being said, it made a lot of us desperate because we thought we could just latch on to the first man we met and that he was going to be it all because we were trying our best not to have that whole label attached to us. So we like, okay, we got to hurry up and find the first one that we think like us and hurry up and marry him so I don't look desperate and so I don't look easy. And with that, it came a danger to where we didn't really understand men, how they think and how they operate. So we had to learn the hard way. And I feel like it's dangerous when people just hammer on marriage. It's not just about marriage. You have to be careful with who you meet, and you have to get to know people, and you have to talk to people. This is America. This is not that type of culture.
That's
we
it.
got people here. You have to communicate. You can't just think.
Y'all know that's my favorite word.
Who was that said this thing has layers to it? That's one of those things that has layers
Siri.
to it.
That's what Siri.
It does. It has layers, and that's a generational layer.
It's like an onion.
Yeah.
And because back in the day, that was the goal for the woman. We got to hurry and find you a husband. It was like you was marketed off. You know what I mean? So there's layers to this.
This is so many layers. And Kev, I hope that, you know, I want to get you on my podcast so we can just shoot the breeze on some of these things. But
I would love
I wanted to also say, because she triggered something there. The other lie that we're being told as women is that there's not enough men for women. First of all, God has never operated in insufficiency. If there's anyone who thinks that God operates in insufficiency, he ceases to be God, because God is a God of abundance. We have to take into consideration that there are women who want to be men who like other women. So they're not looking for a man. Right. And then there are men out there who like other men. So they're out of the pool too. You got people that are in jail. There are people that are outside of this country in other places. So we can never limit ourselves to having such a small way of thinking into thinking that this is all there is. And my little geographical area, my little city only has 1,500 people in it. So I'm limited. There's nobody here for me. There's not enough. Us women have to share. Because you will never see, well, now I take that back. I used to say that, but you can't say it anymore because people are choosing each other. They're saying gender. But I used to say, you know, you see women compromising where they will be 3-4 women to one man. They have a show on TLC called Sister Wives. Yeah. And I said, you would never see a man letting a woman belittle him like that and bring all these men into the house where she's the head honcho. And don't work. But now they have that too, where the woman will have all the men, and it's called brother husbands.
Oh my God.
Yes. So things are changing. But the thing that I want, what I teach women, because a part of my group of what I do, I have sophisticated ladies, and chivalrous gents, because yes, that's the other part. We want to bring chivalry back.
Yeah.
We want, we want that to be a part of the relationship. That's a part that makes it exciting. That's the part that is in the process of getting to know one another and the falling in love and all of that. So
it's also care and concern and showing that man can be vulnerable and be soft in his strength. And come on, I mean, it's there. It's still out there. It's just smothered.
Still there.
We just got to move all this shit, okay? That's
right.
You got to move the shit out the way.
But,
it is still there.
But one at a time.
But it's still there.
But my whole thing is, like, just to piggyback off, and I think this, I don't know if this is Pineapples that said this, but it's communication. Y'all know that's my favorite word. Communication. Like, us as adults, we have to stop being afraid to communicate. If we like something, say we like it. If we don't, say you don't like it. Like, you don't have to take the bull crap from if a man is operating in femininity, or even the same with a woman is operating in masculinity. It's like, once we come together, like, whatever it is that you requested me, you can say it, voice that. The same as you. I'm gonna voice that as well. But it shouldn't be no combativeness. We shouldn't be fighting. We should be operating in love. When you come together with a person and you bring them into your life, they have to operate on the same level as you're operating, in love. And if you don't operate that way, then we just gonna keep having these divorces. We're gonna keep having these broken families. And we can't afford this in this state that we in right now. So communication, man, we have to do that. We got to. It's a must.
That's right.
It's funny you say that too, because my kids always tease me because I always compare relationships to jobs. When I'm talking to a man, I always compare relationship to a job because they follow all the rules. They're the big man on campus, and us women too. But I'm just the only man in the group, so I'm trying to, I'm sorry, Kev.
It's all right. I can hold my own. You see, I'm still fighting. You hear me? I'm telling you.
I try to utilize something that they, at least with the one I'm trying to throw in the garbage. When I'm trying to get him to understand what I'm saying, I go straight to his job. Yeah. Because you respect the rules. You let your boss complete his sentences. You strive to be seen. You work hard for the promotion. It's no problem for you to work overtime even when you're tired. You give them your time. You work a double even when you're tired. You still smile.
Let them talk to you crazy.
Service is A1.
All of that.
But when you come home, it's not even the same energy.
No.
So I'm not even getting enough grace as you're giving your coworkers.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So the communication is important. How I can read that is you're treating me bad. But I can also read it, well, he's just tired. He had a different day. We're all a little different at work. The perception and communication in the transitions relationship to me is very important because we grow, we change. I might have thought you was fine as hell when you was 25, but now that you're 32, you're not looking as crispy. You know what I'm saying? I'm just using that as an example. You look good, kid. But you know what I'm saying? We can, but us women, we are transitional beings. Us women are always transitioning into a new season. And if we're not able to, not necessarily be understood, but be heard by a man that is able to.
Thank you for sharing, Tamir.
Being vulnerable, being there to caress, being a gentleman. And even if you're not getting it, sometimes we just need to be heard. Your understanding might come later. You know what I mean? So all of that, I think, is still alive in here. I think there's a lot of men out there that are getting it. Even it might be later. It's still out there. We must all believe that it's still out there. It's just smothered.
I want to hear what Deanna got to say, because she came in here.
Too.
And I want to, you already know what the topic is. Is femininity and masculinity, is it gone? Is it lost? Are we in trouble? What's going on? Give us your input. Speak, my lady.
All right. Well, I was enjoying the conversation. That's why I was silent, because I'm like, y'all are killing it, and for real.
Yeah.
But I did put in the chat. I said there's a difference between being a strong woman and a masculine one.
Amen.
Because a big difference. Absolutely. A strong woman. Now we understand that the man is, I like to look at him as my covering. So if it's raining outside, that's my umbrella. He's going to make sure I'm good to go.
Yeah.
Just because I don't have my umbrella, just because I don't have my covering, that doesn't mean when it's raining, I'm going to melt. I have to know how to come outside or come out from the rain. You understand what I'm saying?
Speak that.
So, but when we get back in it, I think a lot of times women get too comfortable in that position.
Yeah.
And they don't want to relinquish those reins.
Man.
So my thing is this, if you already know that you comfortable running the show, stay in that show and be the star of the show. But don't sit up and try to get a cast to support your foolishness.
Man.
Because that's what it's going to be. And a lot of times, just to piggyback off of that, I listen to females and it's like, okay, we sit back and we get caught up on aesthetics.
Yeah.
I look at that as,
okay, pineapple.
You get a gift. Okay, I'm gonna give you a gift. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna have that bad boy wrapped so beautiful. I mean, you're gonna admire it. So you're gonna sit there and you have some people that are like, man, I don't even want to rip the paper. This thing is so beautiful. But when you get inside, the gift is worth 10 cents. It's not even something that you like.
Right.
What are you gonna do? You're either gonna give the what you call it away, you're gonna throw it away or whatever. It's what's inside that is kept, if it is worth keeping. So it doesn't matter how it's packaged. It really doesn't. We gotta get past the shallowness of relationship where everything is so fine, and the joker can't even string a sentence together. Okay, good luck with that. But at the same time, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry.
Hey, keep that going. You speaking that real though. For real.
You speaking the truth.
Cause folks just shallow. That's it.
I just got home from work, and I was glad to see that you were on here, and then I heard the lady speak, and I said, y'all better go ahead on with it.
Yeah.
But to answer
locked and loaded. She's locked and loaded.
Man.
But to answer your question, no, it's not gone. But see, it is society's job to put that picture out there.
Yeah.
How do we covet? We covet what we see. So whenever we are constantly seeing the woman running the show, if we constantly seeing men running around talking about purses and all this, that, and the other, if this is what we're seeing, it's now becoming acceptable.
It's the norm.
Because we are beginning to desire to have that acceptability in our lives.
Yeah.
Right.
Man. Deanna?
Because everybody's afraid to stand up and speak up and say, little boy, if you don't come up out that doggone dress.
Thank you.
Yeah.
If you don't knock this tomfoolery off and run around here grabbing something that you were never born with.
Yo.
That's where the problem is.
In the background,
Man, I'm so glad she said that, like, because that's exactly where we're at. Like, people are afraid to speak up and speak out. Like, we signing bills saying it's okay for us to get married, and we know that ain't what God wants. That's the problem too. Like we've come so accustomed to going against what God say. You get what I'm saying? To where we just like
that's the key, Kev. That's the key right there. That is the key right there. Because if you cannot be respectful to the Most High, how the heck are any of us ever gonna give or get respect back?
We ain't got a chance.
If people don't have any regard for God, we're just putty in their hands.
That's it, man.
That's it. That's why we are where we are.
Yeah.
We have become such a disrespectful nation.
Man.
Yep.
I'm with you, Pineapple. She said, stand on nothing, fall for anything.
and
willing to accept anything. That's it. That's
Absolutely.
That's it, man.
And it's made, society has made it difficult because everybody is afraid of being sued. It's discrimination. You can't do this, you can't do that. But then that same society will sit there and blame the parents when that child does something they have no business doing. But they were only...
It comes with it. That was older in the house. It's the way how you raise your children.
Exactly. Absolutely.
Check this out. I'm just going to say it. Ain't nobody said it yet. America has become soft, man. Real talk. Absolutely. Because we used to be one of the toughest countries out there. We didn't care if somebody like had something to say about a man checking another man saying, bro, come on, we don't walk like that. We don't talk like that. Like, we don't wear purses. We don't wear skinny jeans. What's wrong with you, my guy? Like, we was able to call each other out. Man, they did it on, man, I think about like Eddie Murphy when he was doing his stand-up talking about gays and stuff like that. Yeah. But he wasn't just talking about gays. He was talking about straight people. He was talking about black people, talking about white people. It's like we've come accustomed to, you can't say this, you can't do that. It's like the Me Too movement has made it to where men don't even want to approach women now. We're scared to approach women because we don't want to get Me Too'd.
And so we're disrespectful. Remember, as a nation, we have become so disrespectful. There is no respect for human life.
No.
So people will challenge somebody to correct them for the fear, or they might put a bullet in my head because they didn't like what I said to them. Man. You know, so people just kind of mind their own business and just kind of say, well, you know what? I see that little boy doing that, but that's for his family to take care of that. Mom, you stay out of it. Dad, you stay out of it because I don't want them to put a bullet in you because you had something to say about it. That's their family. See, it used to be like that. It used to be Miss Jackson down the middle of the block. She saw you doing something wrong and your parents went around. She would yank you. She might whoop you and then take you home to your parents who would whoop you again.
And you get it again. You know,
and if Mr. Charles seen you down there switching down the block, he was going to get on your top and tell your daddy. Like, he knew. And man, so throw a football.
Mr. Charles. They weren't going to have that.
Nah.
It was the village. It was the village stepping in to say, we have to take care of us because we're sitting back. And this is the problem with us as people of color that has been running rampant in our community. We sit back and we talk about it and we wait for other people to come and save us, not realizing that's not going to happen. We were the ones who had to save ourselves, and that we're going to still have to be the ones to save ourselves. And if we don't care about us, ain't nobody else going to care about us. That's right.
And that's why I pretty much created this platform, because y'all get it. Like, God, when he created me, he knew that I was not afraid of nothing and nobody. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's why I operate the way I operate. I talk about things and topics that people are afraid to talk about. I can get my TikTok taken down right now. But all I'm going to do is I'm going to go on YouTube. I'm finna get it rocking over there. If they shut that down, I'm going to go on Facebook. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to go on Instagram. Like, that's just the way I am. But I know I can't fight this fight by myself. So, you know, I just ask y'all. It's only just y'all right now, the females. I know it's some guys in here, they tucking their tail, but you got to come out. Like, we got to fight for our people, man. We got to stop being afraid. We got to start speaking up. We got to start standing up. We got to start joining arms. And we have to be together and stick together. Because we already lost the battle if we're going to continue to just talk about women or talk about men or talk about, oh, he too gay. Well, teach him how to be a man. Or she a stud. Well, teach her how to be a woman. Did you ask her or ask him if they ever been fondled or touched when they was kids? Did you ask that? Or you just going to be a problem? You get what I'm saying? Like, we got to keep communicating, man. I can't say it enough. We have to keep talking.
We have a lot of issues, and I'm so glad that you have this platform because you know how we hear the saying each one teach one. I keep going back to that, but this is how these kind of things start, because it could be people that come through or somebody that's going to listen to the replay and they'll hear some things that'll spark and they'll say, hey, what they're saying to me bears witness to my spirit. It makes sense. And I have to say, you know, we have not done our part as a people. We have not done those of us who are spiritual people, we have not done our part as a church.
Yeah.
We have not stood for the things that we know that God frowns upon.
Mm-hmm.
We like people that get in office because they're the same skin color as us. And we think we've done something because we've got somebody who's finally in a coveted position who's the same skin color as us.
That
but
ain't
guess
enough.
what? If that person does not represent the principles of what the scriptures reflect,
Man.
then that person is not a friend of God. That person is an enemy of God. And we err in getting on the wrong side of God and siding with people instead of siding with him. Whatever stinks in his nostrils should stink in ours as well.
Man, you said a mouthful.
I understand you on that, but
She said a mouthful.
The churches, they flipping too. You got many gay men in the pool.
Yes, that's true.
It is.
That's right.
Back in the day, I mean, like, I love to go to church. I love to serve the Lord, but sometimes I feel uncomfortable going to church because you see so many hypocrites in the church. You don't know what to believe, or
exactly.
You don't want to take heed from what they're saying because they doing ungodly like things.
The same stuff the world is doing.
That's
There's
it.
no difference.
Well, see, that's where we have to be careful as believers.
There you
because we say it so often. We can't let somebody else's actions cause us to drop the ball. Because my thing is this. I can know everything I need to know about you. Mm-hmm. The word is going to be clean, even if it is coming from a dirty vessel. Because we got to remember that gifts come without repentance.
Yeah.
That's
and
true.
Just because somebody can sit up there and rip and roar and it sounds like they calling fire from heaven, but then come Sunday night, they somewhere they ain't got no business being.
Right.
Mm-hmm. What we have to learn to do is no, I don't accept that. I do this in my classroom when I have, and they tend to want to gravitate. So sometimes they'll bring that topic, but I also know that I'm in a public school setting. Mm-hmm. So I'm careful with my words because I know how folk will do. But I tell them like this: I don't have to agree with anything you got going on.
Right.
But that does not give me the right to mistreat you, nor am I going to hate you. I'm going to pray for you. But what you're not going to do is come in here and try to turn and twist my environment and what I got going on. Because I believe in the power of prayer. And if this is not something that you want to have a part of, there's a door right there. I know where the counseling center is. Have a ball. Excuse yourself. But no, we're not going to do that. You coming in loud, rude, flamboyant, and making people uncomfortable. No, I don't do that. No, I don't have to agree with you. Right. But I don't, and I will not.
And that's good for you. The boldness that you have, I so appreciate that because I feel like that's more of what's needed amongst the majority of us. I think that a lot of us have lost our voices. A lot of us have withdrawn because we feel like it's a war that's been lost already. That, like, there's no reason or purpose to fight anymore. Like, you feel like that is not going to make a difference. Right. But I think that if more people took the same position that you're taking, Deanna, that's how we win the war.
Absolutely.
Together, you know,
absolutely.
A 3-strand cord is not easily broken, but when somebody is trying to fight the battle all by themselves, they just feel ostracized and alone, and you know, like it's like what's it? You know, what a difference is going to make if I'm just one person. So again, that's a very good point. We can never lose sight of that in knowing that God's word will prevail. We're all flawed vessels. That is, if we weren't, you know, King Yeshua never would have had to come and die for any of us. Okay, you never would have had to have that. So that's a very good point that you make, and that we have to remember that.
Absolutely. I will not say I'm going to be defeated in anything. I don't care what it looks like. The church is really, it bothers me because I've never seen it this bad before. I mean, you know, I was just having a conversation today with a fellow teacher. We had a PD today, and she happened to roll up on something about James Cleveland. And her mouth dropped. She was like, girl, was he gay? I said, look, let me tell you something. I said, that's one that the church won't touch because of everything that he's done for the gospel. But yes, He was a queen. He passed from AIDS. I said, and it's
Deanna, you still there?
You're frozen, Deanna. You muted your mic.
Deanna?
Deanna, you muted your mic.
And you see, this is what happens too, man. When folks start speaking that truth, you know what I'm saying? They like to mute our mics and stuff like that.
Yeah,
you
that's
know?
all it is.
But we gonna get her back. We gonna get her back, you know?
There you go, Deanna.
There you go, Deanna. It muted you.
Muted again. You're
Go
muted
ahead.
again. Unmute your mic.
She getting a phone call. When the coffee cup come up, she getting a phone call.
Oh, okay. That's probably what it was.
Well, you know the thing, getting back on the topic that you started out with femininity and masculinity, I think one of the takeaways from all of this is, and I'll put it kind of cute like this, it's something that my former pastor when I lived in Chicago used to say. Think of it like this. Just because you go and stand in your garage doesn't make you a car. Okay?
That's right.
Just because you go to McDonald's doesn't make you a Happy Meal.
Nope.
You know,
That's right.
You are who God created you to be. No matter what you're facing, no matter what the rest of the world is doing, no matter what's acceptable, no matter if you're the minority, no matter if you're the last man standing, you are still who God created you to be. And that's what you have to walk in. That's what you have to uphold, and that's what you have to defend.
Yeah. Man, hey.
God
you
made
said
only
like,
one you. There is only one you in this world.
But I don't think y'all really understood what she just said. She said, regardless of any circumstances and anything that's going on in this world, you are what God created you to be.
That's right.
That's who you are.
That's right.
You know, like I can put on a basketball suit and dress up as a basketball and say I'm a basketball, but everybody knows that I'm not a basketball. You get what I'm saying? It don't matter. Like, I'm still a man after the day is over.
Man.
You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
and you know, it's very dangerous when you think about this. See, this is the part that I think people just don't think sometimes.
Yeah.
Do you understand what you are saying when you side with the world and the world says you need to understand that this person is this and this person is that and this person is this, and you need to accept that? What you are saying is that God, you didn't know what you were doing. You said that this person was a woman, but this person was really a man. So God, you made a mistake.
You a lie. Basically, we saying God is a lie.
God a liar.
And God ain't lying. He's not
that's
man.
Pretty big, you know what, to say to God,
man.
God, you lied.
Right. He don't make no mistakes, you know, and that's why
just get the hellfire ready.
I just wanna get back on what Miss Tamira said, man. Like, we are literally more and more, and I said it earlier, more and more they're taking our choices away. And I just say that because in one breath, you can tell me, you can convince me and tell me that this man that was born a man is a woman. And if I got something to say about it or go against it, I'm either gonna get locked up, canceled. But you're so fighting and so focused on wanting this man to be a woman that you're taking my rights away. When I say that I'm heterosexual and I like women, now I'm a homophobe.
Yeah.
And again, like Doc was saying, God created you who you are.
That's
and
right.
You can't be a basketball. You can't be a chicken egg or whatever. Just like when they try to go and get their sex change and all this, that, and third.
You still not gonna be able to have no baby. No matter if you get your thing cut down the middle and put in, you still can't have no baby. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are we doing? Exactly. You know, so hey, man, look, we done went here, we done went there, but y'all know, you know what I'm saying? It goes right back to what we talking about. You know, like, it's all important on being what God created you to be, man.
And Kevin, if I could just say this,
Yes, ma'am.
Check this out now. Think about this. So much of what our world thrives on is sexuality. And we're over sexualized. Just everything is a stimulant to gear people thinking towards sex.
Yeah.
Sex is not a bad thing.
Right.
God is the one who created it.
Yeah.
He is the one who made all the neurons, all the dendrites, all the axons, the neurological system, every little thing about a man and a woman that's supposed to work congruently together when they come together under covenant for everything that they expected to be and then some. God created that.
Right.
But everything that God creates, the devil counterfeits.
Yep.
He exploits it.
Perverts.
He belittles it. Because he is the accuser of the brethren. He is the one who comes to manipulate and try to make God believe you made a mistake when you made man.
Yep.
He's never going to be what you wanted him to be, because he's going to serve me before he serves you. That's basically what he says to him. I'll make him the same way he came to God about Job.
Yep.
It's the same way he comes to God about the homosexual.
Yeah,
the same way he comes to God about the lesbian, the transgender, and all these other people. He comes to him to be an accuser of the brethren, to say, look at them. Look what they're doing with what you created them to be. They said that they don't want to be what you wanted them to be. That you made a mistake.
Man, hey.
Yeah, that's what it all comes down to. He always has been wanting to be God and to discredit anything that God does. He's the counterfeiter.
Yep. Crazy. And it's like now, publicly, more and more, we're playing his game. You get what I'm saying? Through politics, through everything that's on TV, whether it's our music, our movies. Like, I was just like, I be talking to my brother a lot about like TV shows and movies that I watch. And I'm like, I came up like I was a real big Flash fan. I used to love Flash. Like, I'm acting like I can run like Flash, knowing I can't. But, I'm watching the TV show today, Flash, Batman shows, Superman. And in all those shows, because the agenda is so strong, they're making the characters gay now. You get what I'm saying? Like, every TV show, every movie, they trying to add some kind of homosexuality in there. And don't get me wrong, we know that it's real, but it's like, why do we have to put it in every single TV show, every movie that we watch? It's like it's in there. We just gotta see it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just like,
they're sending subliminal messages.
Yes, but it's like, I get it. They're here. They're everywhere. But it's like, don't take something so beautiful that I grew up on, that I like looked at as innocent. Because when I watch like Flash, Superman, movies like that, animated movies, it's my way to escape from reality. Now you're bringing it into my fantasy. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's like you can't win for losing. Like it's sad, man. It's sad.
Well, if the word of God says that if God be for us, who can be against us? So even though it may look like we're losing the war, we're not.
No, not at all.
We will be triumphant. Yeah. And even if it's just one person that hears the message, one person hears the message, then we have been effective. So, we just have to continue, because when we go and we stand before him, what for us to do, we want to hear him say, well done, my good and faithful servant. So we have to stay faithful to the cause. As hard as it may be, we must stay faithful.
That's it. Anybody else have anything to say? Because I'm about to end this live, and I just want to get everybody's input before we get up out of here.
How many of you guys are in Atlanta?
Covered everything.
I'm in Atlanta.
I am.
Tamira.
Okay, so both of you are in Atlanta. What about you, Deanna?
I'm in North Carolina.
Okay. Okay, so we need to all connect, because we can, you guys, I would love to have you so we can talk some more about bridging the relationship gap on my podcast, and we can get Deanna on via Zoom or one of the virtuals while we're doing it, so she can still be a part of what we're doing. This has been an excellent conversation and platform that you have. So thank you for the opportunity.
Absolutely.
Oh, no problem. Anytime.
Discuss with you guys.
I enjoyed it.
Thank you.
I'm glad you guys let me come on your live. I really appreciate it. It's something I needed to hear.
No problem. Anytime.
We need more conversations like this. See, this is the problem. People don't talk about it. We sweep things under the rug and we just go with the flow of whatever the masses push down our throats.
Right. Definitely, absolutely, man. And like I said, man, this is what I created these lives for. Like, I started with a little short videos. For anybody that hasn't been following me, I started with short videos, just picking people's brains, like asking questions, and then also just coming up with topics like speaking affirmation videos and things like that. And I just was like, I just want to make it bigger and go live and just ask a question, any question. But it can be controversial, but at the same time, let's try to learn how to create healthy dialogue. Let's talk about this controversial subject, but let's do it in a healthy manner. And that's all I've been trying to do. And so far it's been successful. I haven't had anybody come in and try to be disrespectful or nothing like that. And I just thank God. It's nothing but God. Because I'm just like, man, we want to stop this. Like, I'm tired of the gender wars. I'm tired of us just sitting down idly by and watching men turn into women and women turn into men. And, you know, like, man, it's a lot of stuff. Like, we have a lot of more topics that we need to talk about because this is just one of many. But like, even like, I think we kind of briefly talked about politics a little bit. Like, even with, you know, trying to vote in Harris because she's either a woman or a black woman. Like, if we're gonna vote somebody in, let's vote for a reason. Like, I think it was you, Tamira, when you was like, we gotta have a reason for why we voting these people in, not because of color or race.
What we believe.
You know, it has to make sense. So whether it's Democratic, because that's even a topic in itself. Like, I think I might make that one of my I don't like to talk about politics, but I'm just saying, like, you know, we've been taught that we have to vote Democrat because we're black. And it's like, if Democrats are voting on men and men being married and women being married, I don't want to vote for them. I'm sorry.
No. And no, because people have to understand, when you stand before God, he's going to ask you, why did you go against what I said?
That's it.
To accommodate the people.
Right.
Why did you side with the people against me?
Right.
How did you expect to accomplish what I wanted to do in the earth when you sided with the enemy?
That's it.
That's the way you have to see it. The word of God says we don't wrestle against flesh and blood. As black people and people of color, we have got to get past, I'm going to vote for this person because they're black.
Black.
Or like you said, because you know what?
I had an argument the other night about that.
Yeah.
Because I heard someone say, I'm going to vote because she's black. And I'm like, what does
But you don't even know the
that
policy.
mean because she's black? Do you know even the history about her? I mean, what is she going to do for the country? I mean,
and they don't know our history.
Make me understand.
Because it's like you voting because she's black, but she put a lot of blacks. Yeah,
we used to be the ones that stood for godly principles, and if it wasn't right, we weren't going to go for that. We were the ones who didn't want handouts. We were the ones that were hard workers and made money, and like you said, had a village. We had all these things. They were the ones who stripped us and said, go over to get your handout. Y'all would be better off if y'all flip over and do that. Hey. And I don't know where the breakdown, what years that all came, but it seemed like a lot of the stuff started transitioning in the 70s. It was not like that in the days of Malcolm X. It was not like that in the days of Martin Luther King. They were working together as a unit to make sure that we got what we were supposed to get. We weren't trying to get anything that they pushed off on us to say, this is what we feel you deserve to have. And that's where our mindset has to get back to, God, what do you want me to have? And how do you want me to do it? And how do you want me to vote? And who is your candidate? If we have to go independent, we all vote independent. We don't have to do, Republican, Democrat. We'll vote for your man or your woman. Who do you want us to put in office? We've got to get back to that. That's the only way we're going to see these kind of things turn around. If we just continue to let people dictate to us what they want, they're going to continue to do it. And the seeds we sow are the harvest we're going to reap.
That's right. That's right.
Well, I'm gonna leave it there, man. Y'all, everybody in here, I appreciate y'all for tuning in, and I appreciate the panel, y'all coming in and chopping it with me and giving your real, true, and raw opinions. Man, I'm blasted right now. You know, right now I look like I'm high because I am high. I'm high off all of this love that y'all done spewed out here in the world right now, and I'm just glad that I was a part of it. I look forward to doing more of this with you guys. Deanna, you my day one. I appreciate you so much. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and right back at you. Back at you.
Definitely. So I don't know if y'all know, Deanna knows, I usually go live on Tuesdays or Wednesdays, or sometimes I do it on both days. You know, so my next live will be Tuesday or Wednesday.
I will be tuning in.
Now, I don't do TikTok that much, so let me ask y'all, is it like YouTube where there's notification buttons and stuff you can hit so that we know when you go live?
I think so.
It is. I think it depends on how you set it up yourself, too. Because that's what all social media settings, like, if you don't set it to where it gives you an alert, it won't give you an alert. But you'll only know if you actually click on your TikTok or, you know. But, you know, for the most part, like when I have people that I know is going to come in, a lot of times I usually send them an invite or, you know, let them know that I'm going to be going live, you know, so.
And when I tape, it's going to be I tape during the daytime because we have a restaurant lounge. And so it's open at night for people that come in and eat dinner and stuff. So we usually will tape like around 11 or 12 in the morning or the afternoon. And that's usually going to be on a Monday or a Tuesday, because then it'll give me the rest of the week to edit before it's aired. If you know, if I'm doing something with video. But if you come in, if you guys come in with me, we'll do a live on TikTok. Okay. We can just go live and do that. Let me ask you this.
Okay.
TikTok, is this recorded so that people can come back in and see it?
I want to say people can come back and see it.
Yes,
honestly,
okay,
they can.
Yeah, you can go back and look at it.
Okay.
Oh, very good. That's good to know.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you guys are available next week, I would love for you to come in next week. The place that we do record is in Lithuania.
Okay.
I'll message all of y'all the address.
Okay. Whoa, you late, man. We about to leave. You straight.
I won't.
Whoa. First of all, I don't appreciate how you came at me, how I came in here, dude. You know what I'm saying?
I'm like, you late to the party. We done ate all the hot dogs, everything. You hear me?
First of all, I was in another live, so you should have, like, really, like, sent the best signal out to me. Like, I was busy.
That's my bad, man.
And then you come at me sideways, bro. I feel.
Hey, I'm just saying, all the hot dogs is gone, all the ribs are gone. All we got is cups and bread. That's it. You know what I'm saying?
That's fucked up. You didn't save me a plate or nothing. Deanna, what is up with your voice? Like, man,
here you go.
you keep taking the L's, man. I don't understand it. Like, you could have saved me a plate on me. Like, that's fucked up.
I put a plate up, but another guest came in and they needed to eat. You hear me?
Goddamn, I'm your homie. That's some fuck, man. I'm gonna stay on mute because I don't even appreciate how you treat me.
Right. I had to feed the people, my man. You hear me?
There you go.
I'm the new guest.
Right.
Yes, I had to come in and eat.
Yeah, Kiki got a mouthful too. You hear me? Now that I think about it, I think she was the one that ate your plate. You hear me?
We've been homies for years. I don't even appreciate. No, I see what you're doing. Nope, I'm gonna shut up.
But yeah, man, I really appreciate y'all for tuning in. No, he in St. Louis. That's where I'm from, actually. St. Louis.
Really?
Yeah.
My son lives in St. Louis.
Yeah. How long has he been down there?
Well, his dad now, they've been in the East St. Louis part for like all their lives. And so he just moved down there he moved.
Sharon and Karen.
What is the name of that little town that they are? There, I think Edwardsville. All down there.
Okay, I got you. That's like the outskirts of St. Louis or whatever. And East St. Louis, is that St. Louis, Walt?
That's Illinois.
I know. She said that's Illinois. We be having that battle down in St. Louis.
East St. Louis is
Illinois.
Not the spot.
Right across the water. That's Illinois.
Yeah, right across the water. That's not the spot.
Right. See, Tamir already knows. She like, that's Illinois.
Yeah, Illinois.
That's
now,
a battle we always have.
It's nice. Yeah.
Right.
I don't go over to the east side. I avoid that part of town.
That's the what they call it on Lion King. That's the parts we don't. You know what I'm saying? You can go everywhere else. You can't go over there in the shadow.
No. I mean, I go there, but
I just being funny. Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I appreciate each and every one of y'all for tuning in. We definitely gonna do another one next week. Hopefully I can go Tuesday and Wednesday because those are the days I usually pick. But don't be surprised if my schedule changes because I do have a different job that I have lined up. So yeah, I'll keep y'all in the loop on what's going on. What's up?
Did you get the gig?
I got it. I got hired. The 19th is when I start. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I knew it.
So
yeah.
But man.
It was worth missing that game.
You say what?
Yeah.
What happened?
It was worth it missing the game.
What game? You talking about the U.S.
You know what
basketball?
You know what the hell I'm talking about. Old girl invited you to. Come on, stop.
Yeah, man. Leave me alone, man. Stop that.
I mean, no, man. Yeah.
Stop that.
I'm glad you got the job.
I don't even like watching baseball, to be honest. But that's another story.
Oh man. Look, I feel you because my team getting their ass whooped right now.
Right.
It's horrible.
But yeah, I'm finna go ahead and get up out of here, y'all. I appreciate y'all again. And for the people that just not tuned in, we finna get up out of here. Everybody be blessed. I love y'all. We gonna do it again. Look forward to Tuesdays and Wednesdays or either one. Okay?
What time, KEVO?
All right.
I don't usually have a time, man. I just let the spirit move me, man.
How am I gonna go on the lives and be early and on time? I don't know what time.
I'm gonna send you an invite, okay?
That's your notification button.
Yeah.
I just found out how to do it.
What you do, Tamir? What you do?
Okay, so I clicked on your circle up there with your face on it.
Okay.
And so it brings up this box, and then right down at the bottom in the middle of the screen, there's a little bell. And you just click on the bell.
Just like
click on that bell, Walt. Okay?
Yep.
I will.
Click
Kiki,
on that bell.
I don't even know you, and I hate you. You stole my place. I don't understand. That's messed up. I'm over here hungry as a mug, and you gonna eat my plate, yo? That's so messed up, Kiki.
I tell you what, I split the plate with you. How about that?
That's what's up. I'm feeling the love now, Kiki.
Right.
I made it up.
You just make sure you bring some food and not forks next time when you come, all right?
Man, rent a spoons.
All right, so everybody, Tamir said you got to hit that bell. You got to click on my head, hit the bell. I'm still learning the live, so I don't know. But, yeah, hit the bell, y'all. And we're going to be back.
We got to get your algorithm up, too. Part of that has to do with gifts and stuff like that while you go live, Kev. Like put like goals. That's what I mean to say, goals.
Okay.
On your lives. And then you're going to have to put something in your background like you normally do on your, when you do your videos and you go into the alter ego, like Kev, and then you have that background behind you.
You're going to have to teach me how to do that, man.
I don't know, bro. But I know the successful lives, like people coming to them, you got to catch their eye, bro, because your lives be dope.
So you trying to say I ain't successful?
Criminal.
I'm not a successful brother,
your lives be dope, bro. It's criminal that you got 5 people in here. No, that's not fair to you. So
I had more people in here. You was late to the party, my G. Okay?
My brother, I'm here now.
You were late to the party. You're not going to come in here talking about my party.
Look, man, you're not going to embarrass me in front of these women, dog. Like, I don't appreciate how you do me like this, bro. Like, you got to stop blocking. We have to have this conversation before. Now we got to have it online.
Definitely.
Goddamn, bro.
Hey, I'm gonna have to call you because I need your help. You hear me? But okay, y'all, I'm gonna get up out of here. Y'all have a blessed one. I love y'all and be peaceful, okay? All right?
All right, y'all.
And
Be well.
everybody who's on here, go ahead and set your notification because there's a lot of people in the comments too, Kev.
I appreciate that.
Timothy Davis.
And hit the follow button too, y'all, please. Give me up there.
Yes.
Thank y'all. And for the people that follow me, I will follow you back, okay? That's how I rock.
I got you, bro. I got the
night,
whole bell
everybody.
on. Thank you, Tamara. I appreciate that. I found the bell. Yeah.
All right, have a good one. Hey, Walt, I'm finna call you, all right?
All right, man.
All right.
Have a good one, y'all.
Everybody.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
All right.
Bye.
All right.
All right.